great. Well, hello, Miss Megan. It's good to see you again.
Hi, thank you for having me here and doing this with me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to Coffee with Katina. Typically, I would have my coffee, but I have water. So I
Yes,
hope there's something over there to drink.
love it.
So yeah, this is where we talk music and life. So just gonna ask a few little informal questions about your history, things you love and whatnot. So what inspired or who inspired you to do music?
Yes, thank you for asking. I'm excited to do this with you today. Um,
Great.
so there were definitely multiple people, but I think from a very young age, my family's Irish, Italian, and Portuguese, and my dad sang a lot of Irish lullabies to me as a kid. Um, and uh Yeah, so there was that. He played a lot of Tom Petty, and now I'm actually getting married in a week, so we're gonna do the first dance to Tom Petty together.
Okay.
Um, I apparently knew all the words to Buffalo Soldier by Bob Marley when I was one. That's what my dad swears. I was singing it at a restaurant. The server was shocked. Like, this is his version. I mean, whatever, but he was so proud. I was singing it. So I was singing from a young age for fun. And then my grandfather, who's also super Irish. He would sing like Irish sea shanties with me. So like drunken sailor, like what do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Which I think we're gonna play at my wedding too, by the way.
Oh,
Um,
that's good.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I was like to the DJ, I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna work that in where the crowd's gonna vibe with it. He's like, we'll make it work. So, uh,
yeah.
but yeah, so he had said to my mom, like, she's actually got some talent. She can actually sing. And he would make me sing all the time. And, then my family got really excited and would have me perform at family functions. And I was always singing. They were always encouraging me to sing. So I always felt like, I had this special talent and they really made me feel that way, which encouraged me, I think, to continue with it. So I owe a lot to kind of their support.
Okay.
But yeah, there were a lot of people influencing and it's been a lot of fun. It's still really important to me today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, no, I heard a lot of family support from young age on up. That's what you've been kind of going off of now today. I mean, yeah, family's great. I mean, it's always great to have support, whether it's family, friends, or whoever. So I think that that's a wonderful start and that they're kind of pushing it and encouraging you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far from what you experienced in life, how has music actually helped you in life?
Yeah. Well, I think, forever in the teenage years and things like that, it's like you have that teen angst and, getting your heart broken every 2 seconds and all of that. So I was always listening to all these, dramatic, emotional songs and putting the lyrics online and, all that stuff. But,
Oh,
um, I think it was hard for me to kind of like, I always saw myself as someday I'm going to be a singer. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to perform. And I think it was hard realizing when I got into my late 20s, 30s, like, okay, this probably isn't happening because I haven't actually made it happen yet. Um, and there's still a part of me that's like, well, what if I had really tried? Like, but I think as I've gotten a little older, I have a career that is pretty secure and I can afford to do a lot of the things that I want to do. And so it's hard to consider like walking away from that to pursue a career in something so different that I don't have experience in. But I
yeah.
think what I've tried to wrap my head around is like I can make room for both. And, maybe music is more fun when it's not a job and it's something I can do just for, fun and exciting and practice and performance and, so I've tried to lean into that a little bit more. I found it hard to sometimes make time for it. But I'm trying more and more to make it a priority because it is something important to me. And I think when you don't make room for, hobbies and things that bring out your creative side, you can start to feel really like bored, or just kind of dull. So it's been a lot of fun working with you and like practicing and seeing improvements. I've really enjoyed that. So it's been huge for me.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, no, you've been doing a wonderful job. We've made a lot of progress over
Thanks.
time. So yeah, I mean, I think that's great. Music has become one of the biggest aspects, and actually has been for years in people's lives, just as a balance in and of itself for life. Music, music for therapeutic reasons, relaxation. if not branching into a career, as you mentioned. I mean, you still can use it as a hobby, like you mentioned, just the enjoyment of it. And I think you also perform, right? Sometimes at some events.
Yeah, I have. And I haven't recently, but it's something I'd like to get back into, whether it's open mic nights or things like that. So like we talked about, I'll be performing at my wedding next week, and that'll be
Yeah.
a big, opportunity to be in front of people
Sure.
again. And then from there, maybe I'll start doing more open mics and things. So definitely wanna get back on track with that.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Yes, we did talk about your wedding upcoming. So I would assume we're gonna go, that would be more of the plans, like we were talking about as far as like the future endeavors, I guess, for the music, or you doing music and singing. So you got your wedding, you've done some karaoke, which
Yeah.
I like to tell people, karaoke is great, especially for like practices. If you're trying to get more into like your performances, it's more of an informal way of trying to get your way out there, kind of get that
Yeah.
performing in front of audience without the judgments, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
So yeah, so I think that's great. I always tell people because people ask me that a lot. What do you think about karaoke? I think you should do it.
Yeah.
Practice. So yeah. So I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank
I think
you.
you have a beautiful voice. You have a lot of skills and creativity. So yeah, I think you'd be great. If you decide at some point to move forward as a musician,
So sweet.
career.
Well, I appreciate it coming from you because you're the most skilled vocal coach and singer I've heard. So that means a lot. And yeah, like in terms of when you were saying kind of plans for the future,
Yeah.
obviously the wedding coming up, but I think I get so hesitant to overcommit too. Like I don't want to overdo it with commitment to things to where it takes the fun out of it. But then when you just don't commit to anything, it inevitably just isn't something you spend time on. I'd love to at some point like be a part of a band. I have a girl that I work with who's got the same demanding sales job as me. Um,
Okay.
and she joined a band and like I see her on, we've talked about it as well, but I see her online and they do shows together and things. And it doesn't seem like it's anything super high stakes where she has to, completely change her life to be a part of it, but it's something it seems like she makes time for and enjoys. And so like I would love to do something like that where I'm at a busy bar and people are drinking beer and singing and we got, the crowd having fun. And that's kind of the vibe that I would really like where it's doesn't have to be all about me being the center of attention, more so like being able to perform and people are enjoying themselves and I think that would just be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I think you should. I think that's a great idea. I mean, you
Yeah.
definitely have the personality for it, of course.
You're so
So
sweet.
yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
of course. I mean, would her band be something you would be considered joining, or just maybe doing your own thing if you decide
She
to branch?
Yeah, so she's in Florida, so that probably wouldn't be an option for that. But I definitely could lean in and talk with her and talk with you, of course. Like I definitely have resources, people that could kind of help me figure out where to start. Um, like we talked about, I get married in a week and I'm 4 months pregnant. So when it comes to overdoing things, I'm like, maybe I don't want to like bite off more than I can chew just
I,
right now. But
yeah,
there is always something going on in life. If it's not career, it's family, it's, you
of
know,
course.
so I think it's one of those things that could just bite the bullet. Maybe I start small with some open mic nights before the baby's here. And,
There you
all
go.
that time I've been spending wedding planning, maybe I take a couple hours to go, have fun one night and
Yeah,
can drink. I can't drink anyway, so I'll preserve those vocal cords.
there
And
you go.
yeah, so I'm definitely thinking about it, and you've inspired me a lot and kind of help bring it more to the forefront.
Okay, okay, wonderful. Definitely keep me updated on that.
I will.
Johnson said we can definitely talk about it and do some consulting in that area if you need it, coaching or whatever, and maybe we can try to. I mean, you might end up knowing some already. Maybe find some locations here that you can actually do that, and actually perform as a band. I think that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm rooting for you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Of course. All right. So let's see. So for the people out there, what would be some of your encouragements that you would like to share with anyone else that might be inspired to do music or, from your experience, what would you like to share or tell someone that might be thinking about doing music?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked because I was just with a really close friend of mine. She's actually in my bridal party. Um, and I've had multiple friends like this where it always really breaks my heart when I see people, I can hear sometimes like they'll sing quietly or, I'm singing loudly and, that's me. I'm just, wow, in there, quietly singing, but I'll notice, I can hear and I'm like, hey, you sound like you're really good. Like you sound like you're talented, like you have pitch, I can tell. And they'll kind of, oh, well, yeah, sometimes I don't really sing. Like you can tell that, like, I just picture a world where that could have been me. Like had maybe my grandfather not encouraged me to always do it. And maybe if my personality was a little different or I wasn't so outgoing, like just how those people must feel where it's like they have this talent or this skill, but they just kind of keep it to themselves because they feel afraid or embarrassed or like, just afraid of rejection. And that's okay. Like not everybody has to be comfortable with performance. And some people, they just truly don't want to do that. And that's okay too. So there's no shame in that. But, it saddens me to think that there's some people that maybe would like to do that, but they just are afraid to kind of get out of their shell and try it. And so like my encouragement would be to just like take the first step. Like I keep telling my friend, and I need to remember to talk to you about this. I keep telling her I'm going
Okay.
to introduce her to you.
Okay.
I don't, I don't think I want to do lessons. I don't know. Maybe I would. No, I would. Like she's all, um,
Okay.
but I think you'd be a great fit for her. And I think she'd, started a really great like baseline because she's already talented. She just, I think, would need to kind of get more comfortable. So all that to be said, yeah, I would encourage people to try it. What's the harm in taking a vocal lesson, like, and you never know how people are. It's like, you know, maybe you're so afraid to sing that you're gonna be bad at it and get laughed at, but maybe you're like a really smart, successful software engineer. Well, that same person that's a really great singer might step into your
Sure.
shoes over here and look like a total fool. So everybody's good at things that they're good at, and there's nothing wrong with, trying to flex into something new and see if it fits. And maybe it's, not the right fit and it doesn't work out, but I just think there's no shame in trying it. And it's such uh a sad thing to think about just never giving it a chance because you're you feel you're gonna get made fun of or laughed at. Like that's what makes me sad about it. Like did someone in their life
Right.
make them feel a certain way where they felt like they they get that embarrassment. They don't ever want to feel that again. So they feel like they have to hide. Like that makes me so sad for people. I want them to feel comfortable. And yeah, there will be some loser that, says, oh, you stink, whatever. But that's because there's something wrong with them, not something wrong with you. So I don't know. I hope that people out there that want to give it a try,
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
it,
No. Huh?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like anybody out there that wants to give it a try, I would love for them to actually try it and enjoy it, whether they're good or bad. Have fun with
Yeah.
it.
Right. Right. No, I definitely agree with that. And you'd be surprised. There are so many people that are in that position. A lot of them are talented, but they hesitant on just sharing their talent or getting out there and performing, or they working through a lot of like performance anxiety or
Yeah.
social anxiety, or just like you mentioned before, like just fear of criticism. Just branching out there. But then in the back of their minds, they're wishing, they're hoping, oh, I wish I can do this. I wish I can step out and perform. I wish I didn't have this fear, all of this anxiety built up, and those are people that I've worked with quite a bit. And
Yeah.
I put on shows, yeah, put on some shows of my own for my company, with performances to kind of help some of those students kind of branch through that. And some of them, they worked through a lot of their performance anxiety and social anxiety, and actually incorporated that into their actually their jobs, where
Yeah.
engagements and things like that, where they felt even more encouraged or confident to even speak just based off of that transition from that. So you just never know how just doing something as simple as music can help you branch out into other areas in your life,
It's so true
So
because I think about that too. Like I was so used to singing at a young age with eyes on me and stuff, and I did get so nervous about it, and I did have anxiety, and I've always been a high anxiety person as it is. So as much as I'm outgoing and stuff, it's not like
yeah,
I'm, you know, caution to the wind, who cares? I do get really nervous for stupid reasons usually. But I think about getting used to that as a young kid, look at my career and just my ability to kind of stand up and present in front of people, raise my hand and speak. Like
Yeah.
I'm so accustomed to it that it doesn't really, and so I wonder if the two are connected. And again, that brings up a great point that it's like overcoming that fear in a totally different realm of music where it's more creative and fun and exciting, but it can translate into areas where it can actually like help you in, other things, I guess. So that's a great thing for you to bring up because that's another incentive for somebody to get themselves out there.
Of course, of course. So you can definitely mention that to your friend as well.
I know, I'm gonna tell her. I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell her.
well, yeah, you just never know, doing
Yeah.
up in other things and other areas and in your career or life in general. So maybe that'd be a little bit of a push.
Yes. I'll talk to her.
We'll do karaoke. That'll be a good start too, if she hasn't done it.
Yes. That'd be
All
perfect.
right, of course. So in saying that, is there anything else you would like to share with the people out there that's listening or seeing the videos or the recording? Do you want them to maybe know some social media that you might have out there, or you have some music or links out there you would like to share?
I don't have much. But what I will say is that working with you has been really great, and I'm just so impressed with your ability to just the way you structure our sessions and make the most of our time, and you taught me techniques and just exercises that I can do. If I do them consistently, I'll see change. Your just ability to kind of hear and assess very quickly in real time, like what the challenge I'm facing might be and like how I can kind of tweak some small things to address it. And, 1 minute I can't sing this part and then you give me some quick tips and I implement it and suddenly it's, the note is ringing out. Like that's been a lot of fun to see. I think like music and voice lessons are cool because, for example, you take something like, I don't know, this comes to mind because it's like another thing I try to focus on, but fitness and weight loss and that sort of stuff, right? It's such a gradual, like,
Yes.
you really have to be consistent with it for months before you really see the like fruits of your labor. But what's cool about a session with you is like, of course, you do want to do your training consistently and it will, over months time and years time, you see these improvements, sure. But like even within one session, you can go from like a certain portion of a song that you felt like you couldn't reach the note or, you didn't have enough breath or whatever to by the end of it, you're singing it. So that's really cool to see too, is just how much improvement you can make even just within one session. So
Right.
I definitely have loved working with you and appreciate everything you've done. And, now I'm all excited to sing at my wedding. I feel super confident about it because of the work we've done together. So it's been huge and I'm very grateful.
Well, wonderful. Well, you're definitely welcome. I love working with you, and I know you're going to do perfect at your wedding. You're going to sing beautifully as you are in a few minutes. Are you ready to perform a little
Yes.
of your song so everybody can kind of hear your beautiful voice?
We'll try it. We'll try it. We'll hope I crush it for this. So I'll stand up.
Okay.
And yeah, we were practicing earlier, so I'll hopefully do it as well as I was doing in my practice. We'll see.
All right.
And where did I have those lyrics at? Let's see. Okay. So I'm gonna get my little backup music. So how long we think? Like 30 seconds a minute?
However long you want to do it. I mean, it doesn't have to be. You can do just a piece of the song, or you can
Yeah.
do the whole, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start at the beginning and I'll just go right into the middle and then we can stop it there. Let me see.
Sounds good.
Uh, okay. Oh, I'm gonna get back to my speaker.
Battery 40%. Connected to iPhone 240.
Alrighty. We'll see if the cat makes a special appearance this time. A little loud. Right. And let my love has come along. My lonely days are over. And life is like a song. Oh, yeah, yeah, endless. The skies above blue. My heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you. Might as well finish. I found a dream that I could speak to. A dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to. A thrill that I have never known. Oh, yeah, yeah. You smile. Oh, and then spell was cast. And here we are in heaven. For you are mine. And
All right,
Okay.
wonderful. Yeah, outside of the little bit of a glitches we had, I mean, it was kind of going out in and out on some parts, but we heard the most of you,
Oh,
so
good.
you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Of course, good job, Megan. And again, I'm so happy to visit with you on Coffee with Katina, and I look forward
Yes,
to this lesson. Do you
I
have any
love
last?
it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. It's been fun and I appreciate it.
No problem. All right. Well, you have a good rest of your weekend and happy Memorial Weekend.
Yes, you too.
All
Okay.
right.